Mr. Pappoe, thanks a lot for your time. You have been with the Black Stars throughout their camping base in Doha before they came to Cameroon. From the game you saw last Monday against Morocco, how do you relate it to the camping preparations in Doha?
Well, okay, thanks for agreeing to have a chat with me. I would say that, well, of course, the camping stint in Doha was extremely useful in terms of team bonding and building the team from its early stages. But without offering any excuse, I believe one is fully aware of some of the challenges that almost all nations encountered in terms of the late release of players and then issues relating to traveling restrictions and protocols and the rest. So of course I don't think we got the most ideal of I don't think we got the most ideal of training and preparations as we would have wished for, But that is there's no point crying over that because definitely we can always make amends, and that I believe is what we are seeing the team go through. Obviously, it's a bit difficult to try to relate that directly to the match because the game that we saw against Morocco was a bit interesting and curious in a certain way. If you look at the nature of the goal we conceded and the trend and pattern of play, you just get to know, you just have to accept that it's one of the things in football. Sometimes you could play well and then lose, other times you play poor and then you win. So many things happen in football, but the important thing is to pick our lessons as we go along.
Were you disappointed with that particular scoreline against Morocco?
Of course, it was a defeat, and a defeat always comes with some disappointment and sadness. But I wasn't so disappointed in terms of the performance of the team. Of course, I must be quick to add that there is still work in progress. There were quite a number of areas the team could do with some improvements, and I believe they are working on that. So, performance-wise, I wasn't so as disappointed as I was with the result because I felt at worst a draw would have been a fair reflection of the game. But that's football and it's a tournament, so we just have to accept that and move on.
Ghana plays Gabon on Friday in
Yeah.
the second group game, and that happens to be a decider. If Ghana is unable to, win that particular game, it will put a lot of pressure on the team. What are preparations going on with regards to the game that is going to be played on Friday?
Well, obviously, in a tournament, any match that you do not win puts you under a bit of pressure. And the game against Gabon is going to be a very critical game. Of course, we need to win to actually cement our chances in the tournament by way of progression. And then also more importantly, as a team, we need a victory for ourselves and then to psychologically boost up and then release the energies that are within the team and then everybody around the team. So victory is very critical in the game against Gabon, but surely it's not going to come easy. There's still a lot of work that has to be done, and I'm quite happy to see quite a lot of work is going on. We hope to make use of the 3-day period to at least lift the team up to a certain level. I know the Gabonese will come in tough, but what are tough things for? I'm sure the team will stand up to the task.
What is the current update on the injury situation of Captain Andrea Ayew?
I think I had a chat with him around lunchtime. He was very positive, he was happy. He felt after the treatment he got this morning and did last night, he's made a very significant improvement. So I believe it's good to go for training tomorrow, and then we'll leave it to the coaches to make a decision on it.
From your personal observation, should Ghanaians be expecting maybe some changes in the team from those who played against Morocco?
Definitely, there may be one or two changes. But I believe that's left to the coaches. But I do not think the coach was so unimpressed with a number of the players in our game against what do you call it against Morocco. some 2 days ago. He was quite satisfied with their performance. Maybe there may be one or two changes here and there, but even that I'm not so sure of. But let's leave it to the coach. What I can say is that, with the exception of the captain who didn't participate in training today because he's recovering from the injury and then the illness, almost everybody who trained today gave a very good impression of himself.
Ghana played up to the 83rd minute before conceding a goal against Morocco when they had trained only a day in Cameroon ahead of the game. Now, Ghana has had about 4 or 5 days training ahead of the second game against Gabon. Is that reassuring towards the game against Gabon?
It is. It is. The interesting thing is that a tournament is like a long value chain, and it depends on the way you use your team. You build up in the training. As the days go by, you keep developing, and then the team keeps evolving, and that's what we are seeing now. Of course, it would have been easier if we had gotten a lot more players in camp early enough in Doha. Then that way we just need to build up. But as it is now, we still have to like building from the scratch. And there's been quite some improvements in training, as we've seen right from Sunday when we did our first training in Cameroon, and then the 2 or 3 training sessions we've had after the game. So it's very very reassuring going into the game against Gabon.
For those who seem to have lost confidence in the team after losing to Algeria in the friendly and losing the first game to Morocco, any message for them that will at least
Oh, I don't really believe people should lose confidence in the team because it was their first game. Seriously speaking, I don't believe so. It's a very interesting this issue of confidence thing when you are talking about people. There are quite a few people out there who I'll say may like to press alarm buttons and then paint a picture of sadness and sorrow and doom around the team, irrespective of what happens. So defeat will be something that could trigger those sentiments. But I believe the vast majority of Ghanaians are still very hopeful and then following the progress of the team and then also listening to assurances of people around the team and then the coach and the rest. And sure, fine, it was a bit, it was like a very turbulent start. But I don't think that's enough cause for despair. Not at all. I don't think so.
I think that you've gotten an unlimited quantum of experience when it comes to Ghana football. In 2010, Ghana lost the first game of the AFCON to Ivory Coast, but got to the finals of the competition. In 2015, they lost the first game to Senegal, but still got to the finals of the competition. You were a key figure in all these, periods. How were you able to put the boys back on track, to get to the finals? And are you doing the same this time?
Not 2015. 2015 I wasn't part of the squad.
Oh, okay.
But 2010, 2008, 2006, and a few times between. Yeah, of course. The interesting thing is to recognize that a tournament is a long haul. You start from one point and then you build as you go on. Traditionally, Ghana is not something people say it with pride, but I don't say it with pride. I think Ghana typically starts slow, which is not necessarily the best. In 2010, when we lost to Cote d'Ivoire by a bigger margin, and then in fact the performance was far worse than what we saw against Morocco. They outplayed us, they outclassed us, they outscored us fine.
Interestingly, it was the same coach, Milo.
Yeah, it was Milo. I think he had come in a year or so before then. But we gathered ourselves together, continued to beat Burkina Faso, Angola, Nigeria, and that. On the way to the final, which we lost by 1 goal, scored also in the 83rd minute. So but that is football. So, well, it's good. I think looking at the psyche of the players, they do not appear to be crestfallen at all, which is quite happy. So it's fairly easy to pick up from there, which they are doing. And I'm quite hopeful. I'm very, very hopeful, not being arrogant, that definitely will sail through.
Finally, have you had a word with the coach after the performance against Morocco, and has he given any assurance ahead of the game?
Oh, we've had a lot of chats here and there, both formal and then off the cuff conversations and remarks here and there. He's hopeful, he's confident. He also truly believes that he could have done with a lot more training time. That is why they have to engineer a training schemes this time around in a very interesting and unique way. I believe the hard work which is going into this team and which is still going on into this team by almost everybody around the team will surely pay off. I do not have any doubt at all in my mind that the efforts of people around this team, the playing body, the technical team, the management, team officials like your Gusels and the rest, and then the ministry and government, I don't think, I doubt if all those things will go to naught. I doubt.
Thank you very much, sir, for your time.
It's my pleasure, sir. Thank you.